How is it almost August already? This year has just been so crazy, but it's not going to keep me from forecasting my budget. For August, I'm going to be covering my income, my expenses, making a plan for my money for the next month. And you can do the exact same thing and follow along with me with this template. You can get it inside my How to Control Your Spending workbook, which I will link to below. Yeah, let's go ahead and fill this thing out. Hey guys, it's Justine with Debt Free Millennials, the channel to help you crush your debt and live payment free. The number one tool that helped me get out of debt by far was my budget. And it is still the number one tool that helps me get after my financial goals now that I'm debt free. And today we are going to be filling out the budget forecaster template by plugging in our income and expenses. I'm using my real numbers that Kyle and I make, and you can follow along and do the exact same thing with me if you have the template. Let's go ahead and hop over to the kitchen table and we'll go ahead and fill it out. Okay, it's one of those cool and cloudy mornings in San Diego, and it looks like it's gonna rain, but it never rains. I'm gonna pretend that it's gonna rain, and I have some tea, and we are going to just very lovingly fill out our August budget. So we're gonna start up in the upper right-hand corner with the income amount, and between Kyle and I, we are going to bring in a forecasted $10,000 for August, knowing his W-2s, the amount that I bring home from my business being full-time self-employed, and then we also rent out a parking spot. I'm actually going to jump down, I'm going to switch things up on you guys, down to the what's happening this month and this month's focus, because I've been saving that for the last part of the video, but I feel like this is something that needs to be talked about up front. So for August, I simply just go through my calendar and see if there's anything in particular that we need to watch out for. In a normal world, this would be like vacations, traveling, any kind of events that we might be going to. But I think everything that I'm seeing for August is pretty much good to go, except I know my mother-in-law's birthday is in August, so we'll definitely add that. And we'll know that we'll be spending some money from our gifts budget for that. Also, this month's focus, as in the last 3 months, the focus has always been the down payment. I'm going to go ahead and say that's true for August as well, because we don't have anything else going on, and that really has been the focus of really building that up to something big and fat for San Diego. Yes, big and fat. Okay, so the first section up here is debt payments. You would fill this out if you have debt payments. And if you're on your debt-free journey, your month's focus should be focused on a specific type of debt. But because we're debt-free, just going to go ahead and leave that section. Then we're going to move on to fixed. So let's go ahead and fill this guy out. Okay, so fixed is filled out, and I've kind of been playing with the groceries amount, $575. I think last month it was around $500, and I'm just kind of playing around with that because I know August is going to be a longer month, and just thinking about how we've been able to budget for groceries. We've been really good the past couple of months, but it's always nice to have a buffer just in case. You'll see, so we live in San Diego, and so that's why our rent is so ungodly high. But honestly, if you look past just the rent, everything else for our fixed stuff is actually, I think, pretty comparable to what somebody would pay for in the Midwest, right? Or somebody who's living out on the East Coast. It really just boils down to can you justify spending that much money on rent? So if you're thinking about moving to San Diego or Southern California, that's really the biggest thing you have to worry about. And the rest is just going to be pretty much the same as what you would get back home. Okay, let's go down to fun, one of my favorite sections of the budget, and we'll go ahead and fill this one out. Okay, so fun is filled out. I've made a few changes from July. Fun, you'll notice, is a big fat 0. That's because we actually have a sinking fund for fun. So every month we set aside money for fun stuff that we would like to do, bars, different outings. And since we haven't really been able to do much of that since quarantine, we've just basically stopped contributing to that, and we're just pulling money out of that sinking fund that has over $1,000 in it right now. So we're just going to stop contributing to that temporarily. Also, I spoke to my therapist and she's making some changes to her rates. So she was $90 a session and now she's increased that to $125. I'm totally okay with that because I really do not want to switch therapists. I love seeing her and I've worked with her for over a year now, so that is fine with me. By the way, guys, get you a good therapist. That is just a life changer. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fill out future. You're going to see I'm going to have a weird amount for fudge because as I was kind of doing this in my budget toolkit, moving things around, I had some money left over. So let's hop into future, and we know that the down payment is going to be a big portion of our income going towards the down payment. So we're going to continue putting $3,000 towards the down payment fund. We have over $100,000 in the down payment fund now, but we're just going to continue building and building and building it so that we can have less of a mortgage payment. We can put 20% down. That's the goal there. Okay, I just want to do some quick math on what I have so far so I can make sure I have my car expenses, insurance, and investment numbers down correctly. So let's go ahead and add up the fixed and the fun. Okay, so $463 is what I have left over. So I'm going to look at my car expenses, which I know I set aside money for tags and insurance. So this should be all filled out. So I'm going to go ahead and add up all of my expenses. And the expenses comes from fixed, fun, and fudge. So we'll do 36 plus everything else. So now we've got everything filled out. So I've got 53, almost 5,400 bucks going towards the expenses, and then $4,600 going towards the savings. So when you're budgeting, you want to make sure that all of your income has a spot, even if it's just going towards your miscellaneous category. And this $36 can be used as a buffer if we go over any of these other line items. Like if I go over groceries, I can just pull from that fudge money and I'd be good. So you would take, in this example, $10,000 minus the expenses, minus the savings, and get a net of 0. It should always be 0 so that every dollar has a name. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the budget. So I feel like our budget has gotten under control again now that we're used to this whole quarantine routine, and the grocery budget is now under control. We've got the spending back to where it was prior to all of this craziness. So I'm excited to see August. We're going to keep grinding it out with our down payment and keep after our financial goals. I think there is a little bit of fatigue with just the monotony of waking up, working from home. Kyle's working out in the living room. I'm working in our bedroom. And it's kind of the same thing over and over again. Honestly, I'm ready for a change. And I don't know, maybe we can pull something from our budget to do something different. Maybe. I would love to know in the comments below what is the #1 thing your budget is focused on for August. And I will catch you guys in another video.